And welcome to Beyond the Baller, episode 5, sponsored by Alan Mackay Plumbing and Heating. Thanks very much to Alan for sponsoring us and continuing to sponsor us. We had a good weekend with Alan the other week there, and that was enjoyable. Alan and his family, so all good. So, thank you to all the followers, all the people that are giving us a wee bit of their time just to listen to us, and it's really, really appreciated, because without them, obviously, it wouldn't be worth doing. So, some of the big hitters that's following us, worth noting: Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Yeah.
Who else?
Luke Ayling.
Plays
for Middlesbrough. Is that Leeds, I think, for a while?
Yep.
He's got his own academy down in Yorkshire as well, so he's another one. But I think it's more the comments of the public and that, isn't it? The people are saying they can relate to it, and probably the discussions we've had have caused loads of debates in the country. I think it's probably one of the best decisions I've done in the coaching game, is starting this.
Good. Tell us some of the highlights and some of the clips that we've had then.
This week or in general?
So,
what would you like to do?
So give us, how many hits has one of your clips had?
So the comment about, it's probably prime time to talk about, was Scotland just qualifying for the World Cup.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Was the Kenny Dalglish one, was a big one. Seemed a really popular one. I think that got over 120,000 views on Instagram. And then episode 2, I think it was, when we talked about children being critiqued and not all the same.
Yeah.
That was 170,000 views, I think. So it's gained a lot of traction, but that only comes from people sharing it, following it, commenting on it.
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone who's done that, even if they didn't agree with what we said.
Good or bad, yeah.
Because we haven't got the answers. That's just an opinion. We're not even right. It's just an opinion.
Yeah.
And we believe what we said was right. And if people disagree with us, we love to have healthy debates, Tam. The country is built on debates. We're not politicians, but we love a good debate.
Yep. So that takes us to Scotland qualifying for the World Cup. An amazing achievement, because when the chips were down in the game before, it looked as if all bets were off and it was going to be playoff time. And then it all changed. It all swung in a direction.
Would you agree that's probably 2 out of the 4 goals will be the most iconic in Scottish football history at Hampden? Do you think? The McTominay overhead kick, and I'd say the Tierney, and I know Kenny McLean's one was special, but the Kieran Tierney one at that time of the game,
to bend that the way it
was
composure.
Top, yeah. And I think obviously with the injuries that boy's had, and he came under heavy criticism for Scotland at times as well.
Yes.
That is special. I think them two might go down as 2 of the most iconic in Scottish football history.
I think the three will be forever.
Because I think there's a bit of nerves in the stadium still, wasn't he? When it was 3-2. I think there was...
Everybody's looking for you've seen all
blow
the social
that
media, blow the whistle, and everybody panicking.
Yeah.
And then they obviously get the wee break, and Kenny McLean, and he's undecided whether he's going to shoot or not.
Everyone's shouting, shoot!
Travels. And it's even the commentators, Stephen Thompson. And
them two were brilliant. James McFadden. Them two were excellent, man.
So that was brilliant. What a moment for the country, and really good. So what I would say there is, just leading on for that, what do you think that will do for the youth football in Scotland?
I think everyone will try over their kicks for the next week, right?
A few broken arms.
Yeah. On the frozen Astro. But in terms of a nation, I think it gives the nation hope. What I'd love to see now, kicking on from there, is that Scotland aren't just celebrating qualifying for the World Cup. Scotland are celebrating getting through the knockout stages of the World Cup. That's what I want to see now. I think it's possible that could happen. I think that's what gives the country hope. Is this the next step now? Can we celebrate qualifying every year for every major tournament? Is that going to be a thing? I think that's the next step for Scotland.
So the big thing about that is three of the last 4 tournaments Scotland have qualified for now. So that is now becoming a consistent theme, which is amazing. We've got a really good team.
Can I just throw one at you now?
Go on.
Sorry. Do you think Steve Clarke should be applauded for that? Or do you think that there's other Scottish managers within the game that could also have achieved that and more?
I think there's Clark's got a good blend of not being too excited and not being too low. I know
he's quite reserved, isn't he?
Very much so. But I think the talent probably speaks for itself. He will have game plans. I've not always agreed with his game plans, but fair play to him. He went two up top with 30 minutes to go. I know they were needing something. I know the penalty came and all that sort of stuff. He probably had that plan in the back of his mind. But Lawrence Shankland, when he came on, was outstanding.
I think he's a starter, eh?
Outstanding.
He is a starter for Scotland.
And just with Shea Adams having his dip and missing chances and stuff like that, I think the time for Shankland. Obviously, they'll have friendlies and stuff like that leading up to the World Cup, but long story short is I think Shankland made some difference when he came on. Really did.
I think Kenny McLean deserves a lot of credit, you know.
Aye.
Because he's been doubted a lot through his career, hasn't he?
Yeah.
A lot. You know, when he's had to do the hard yards to...
Well, he started at St Mirren, didn't he?
Him and John McGinn together. Him and John McGinn were together, I'm sure. Anyway.
So,
well done, Scotland.
We digress. Going back to what it will do for Scotland, do you know how much money and a team that gets knocked out in the World Cup actually gets?
Not a clue.
Take a guess. You go to the World Cup, your prize money for being knocked out, what do you think it is?
20 million.
2.5 million.
Yeah, that's poor.
So, obviously, the winners...
You get more for getting relegated from the English Premier League.
So, I get international football's totally different, right? But I was thinking, what's this going to do for the podcast? What's this going to do for Scottish youth football? And I was thinking, maybe the SFA getting the money, they'll build a centre of excellence somewhere different. I know they've got Tory Glen, the Orium, and all different places throughout. But maybe another pitch and try and invest and make things happen. But 2.5 million, it probably
doesn't go far, eh?
Doesn't really do much.
Not in today's world, it doesn't go very far on football.
So I was a wee bit disappointed.
I think it gives the country a bit of belief, Tam. And I think that's probably the most positive thing that's came out of that result on Tuesday.
Belief for what though?
Belief in believing in a football nation, because I don't think Scotland's ever believed in that since the earlier days.
Do you think the youth are going to go on and think, well, I can be part of that then and get them hope and belief for that? Or?
I think it has got an inspirational side of it, but when you look at nations like Croatia with 3 million population, they expect to qualify every year. They got to a final a few years ago. Mm-hmm. So a nation of 3 million people got to a final of a World Cup against France, if you remember. Yeah. So that's a nation with 2 million less than Scotland, and they expect to qualify every single year without fail. So in terms of...
Do you think that's culture? Do you think that's environment?
Environment for me is bigger than anything.
So do you think because it's a warmer country than us average?
I just think the coaching's better.
The coaching's better?
I reckon the academy set up in Croatia will be fantastic, and that's why they sell them into these big European clubs.
So the SFA in their report, they mention Croatia, and I'll paraphrase this, but Croatia has a strong technical foundation and competitive youth minutes despite the small population. So they used the Croatian model to analyse what was different.
They do, but they actually never, because they've just quoted that. But the SFA actually don't promote that. They don't promote a competitive nature.
No, what they're doing is the SFA are comparing Scotland to Croatia.
Oh, sorry.
So that's what they've taken from Croatia, that they've got competitive youth minutes.
Maybe copy that.
Well, maybe that's copy the whole point of the report.
I know, but they've been saying this for years. Because every time I go on a licence course, I'm told that's what's happening. They're modelling it on Belgium and Croatia.
Yeah.
But they're not doing it. They're not modelling it because I've seen it. The technical training isn't taking place.
Yeah.
Not enough.
We'll talk about that just
shortly. It's a juicy one, that. Sorry, I thought you said they've modelled...
No.
Right, sorry.
No, they
should.
They've went to outperforming nations as per population.
Yeah.
Why they outperforming all the time regarding their population. And they've taken, obviously I've summarised that, paraphrased it, but these are the main takeaways that
Right,
they're
okay, I get
doing.
you.
So, and then they're going to try and apply that.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, of
Get it in
course.
play now.
But we've been trying to do this for years.
I know. Get it in
years
play
and
now.
years. And this is the thing. I was speaking to you earlier about this middle grounding of Denmark, Scotland, Norway, all these nations. And there's this middle ground. I think that there's so much information available to everybody. It's who actually gets the governance right and how do they apply these principles.
Let's throw another small nation in. Same population as Scotland, Norway. Finished top of their group with Italy in it. Won every game with a plus 31 goal difference. I couldn't think of Haaland in Norway's side that I'm blown away by.
Well, Odegaard's good, isn't he?
Oh, sorry. And there's two. And Odegaard's made a poppadoms. He breaks down every 2 minutes.
And there was a guy in the left wing, I can't remember his name as well.
But you know what I mean, though, Tom?
I get it. They
haven't got a team full of superstars. They're a small nation. Pitch availability is big. We've talked about this in previous episodes. Pitch availability is massive. Free pitches.
Well, the SFA talk about that and their thing as well. But
we need an episode just on
that
the next steps for the SFA. But we probably can't even cover that today. We should probably leave that for another episode, I think, because it could be a juicy one.
Yeah. So, tell me what's happened this week. Tell me all about it.
It's another world. It's another day in the world of Beyond the Baller, mate, because I came across a Instagram post on Tuesday. And the Instagram post was about a job vacancy in a Category 2 academy for a pre-academy coach to come in. So it was just on their academy, the actual, I don't need to name it. It was on that academy's Instagram post.
Between 7 and 10-year-old or something like that? Was that
so under 8s to under 10s, right? That's pre-academy. And the position was for a pre-academy coach to work on a Monday evening and a games program on a Friday. And it did say on the job vacancy that there were also options to go on away trips, right? No problem. Look down a bit further. Salary, volunteer basis. So you're working for free. That wasn't even the biggest issue for me. The biggest issue was qualifications.
Qualifications required?
It wasn't required, by the way. It just said qualifications. A 1.1 introduction to coaching is desirable. So for those that don't know anything about the coaching pathway in Scotland, a 1.1 is the introduction to coaching, as it's called, but it's a online course which is 3 hours long, Tam. It costs £60. You sit on a Zoom call with roughly 60 to 80 other people, and the SFA tutors will talk to you about how a session should look. You have no real interaction unless you want to ask a question. You have no homework to do, and you have no drill planning, session planning to do at all. You just get talked at for 3 hours. Once that session's done, 24 hours, 40 hours later, on your Comet, which is the SFA's app, if you like, for processing registrations, it'll come through saying, Tam's got a 1.1 licence, well done, he attended the course. So a Category 2 academy in Scotland is asking for someone with no real background in coaching to take on a pre-academy role at their club. Bonkers.
Why is that bonkers?
See, at Grassroots, you need a 1.2, which is higher than a 1.1 naturally, to be registered.
Well done.
Thank you, I'm all right with maths. A 1.2 is required to be registered with the Comet system through the SFA guidelines that you are a coach at your Grassroots club.
That's to run a team.
To be in charge of a team, yeah.
Yes.
To be registered as the coach, the lead coach of that team. But, as we previously spoke about, badges don't always mean you know everything. We know that. Mm-hmm. But if I was in an academy and my child's in an academy at 8 years old and I have a coach taking the session who it's desirable to have a 1.1 introduction to coaching, is in charge of my son's future for the next 2 years to sign professional youth contract in Scotland, I am worried. I am petrified, actually.
What would be the attraction for the parent to actually go from their grassroots club to be coached by that coach?
Because I think it's that temptation of, he's got a chance to sign pro youth if I get him in early. I understand this. And to be honest, you're probably right at the bigger clubs. If you went to the bigger clubs, you're 100% right. You probably have got a better chance of signing pro youth at 10 because you've been in the system a bit longer. But you're not telling me this guy, it's desirable, he's got a 1.1.
Or lady.
Or lady, yeah, sorry. Yeah. You're not telling me that because he's got a 1.1 that he's going to get better coaching. I honestly, Tam, this is why I shared it.
So this for me is really, really strange that...
Can I say nothing?
Go on.
They took the post down.
Why do you think they do that?
Because they know it's wrong. They know it's wrong, Tam. I'm sorry, right? See if someone like myself, right? I'm still young-ish, right? If I'm a young coach coming through the ranks, I'm probably going to get told I need to volunteer. I need to volunteer to get a job in an academy first that'll lead me on to something bigger. What you're forgetting is I'm not an apprentice. I've got 12 years coaching experience. So if I want a job in an academy, are you telling me I've got to work voluntary? I've done my yards, I've done my minutes on a pitch. So if I got to work as a volunteer to get a position that'll lead me on to something like head of children's or head of academy, is that what you're actually telling me in this country? Because if it is, I want nothing to do with it. You can't hide behind your badge to get someone in your club for free. And that's exactly what that club done.
And we were contacted also by anonymous people saying, no way are you calling this out. At last, somebody's highlighted the nepotism and goings on.
I wish I had my phone. It makes her read it out. It said, right?
I think I might have it.
Yeah, if you can read that out for me, that'd be fantastic.
It's absolutely mayhem why this is actually occurring.
And so everyone knows this isn't just a one club instance. Like, this has happened on numerous occasions.
So break this down again. So we've got a Category 2 academy that is currently...
So I'll name out these Category 2 academies, right, just now. You've got Dundee, Ayr United, Greenock Morton, Livingston, Ross County. These are all quite well-established clubs in Scotland. Okay? This club was advertising for someone to work on a voluntary basis. But I'd question, what's the coach getting out of it, Tam?
Yeah.
What would the coach get out of that, of working for free? And I'll tell you what my opinion of it is, right? I reckon if you're a dad, right?
Yeah.
And you take that role on, you've got a better chance of getting your son in that academy because you're working for free. There must be some kind of initiative to it.
Yeah.
That's nepotism again.
So that's basically somebody going, I'll take that role because
Tam,
I'm getting my boy a chance.
Tam, 3 weeks ago we called this out. And then this week, someone's put that on their actual academy official Instagram post.
Right, I found it.
Right, go on, read it out for me.
Laughing faces, exposing the first step of nepotism at the club's junior academy. Let's get 4 coaches in and we will sign their 4 kids and their wee pals regardless of levels that they play at. So that's obviously somebody that's experienced something at
that person's been in that academy, I think. Now, it sounds like sour grapes.
Yeah, 100%.
It ain't sour.
Careful as well.
Right, we need to be careful. However, I called this out 3 weeks ago without anyone publicising this. As soon as I put that out there, comments every 2 minutes, bang, 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 messages, keep it anonymous for me. Can you read that message out that I sent you today?
Yeah, give us a second. I'll just try and find it.
And remember when I talked about the amount of...
Keeping up with the amount of messages
I know,
is
sorry.
very difficult.
But do you remember when I said, Tam, do you remember when I said about the amount of money these coaches are actually on?
Right, okay, I'm going to read the message.
Right,
so I don't want to bore people with my boring reading. However, it's very important, this, and this is anonymous. There are many clubs in Scotland who do the same thing with asking for volunteers or who pay less than the legal minimum wage for academy coaches. Think about that for a second, right? I have first-hand experience of this. Please keep this anonymous if you're going to use it. Of course we will. There was a wee bit in exchange of a message. It is ridiculous, mate. I do 28 hours a month on pitch and I am paid £175. It works out at £6 odds per hour. No expenses paid for travelling all over the country for matches. At one point last year, my fuel bill for the month was higher than my wages. Laughing faces. All for the love of the game, though. I think what we're seeing here is the exploitation of the love of the game. I understand it. But how do you expect players to become elite professional players when at the most important age of pre-academy? We say that, and Arsene Wenger says it as well, and he's a FIFA technical director. Why are we employing people with no coaching experience? Potentially. However, I'm going to caveat that with there could be an ex-pro that's not done his badges.
And he could be outstanding through his knowledge
could be the
of the
best
game.
coach. And that post might have been just to appease, I don't know, employment law or whatever it needs to be. It needs to go out there. And they might have somebody lined up who's an outstanding candidate, and the academy might be getting great bang for their buck. But it doesn't feel like that. When we're getting messages.
Here's another way of looking at it, right? That guy's down for his month's wage through this academy. He's down money, right?
Yeah.
So he's actually in his bank. He's actually been paid less that month for what he's had to do, right? Let's say we'll use me as an example, right?
Yes.
Let's say I was a 25-year-old boy. I've been coaching since I was 18. I've got loads of knowledge. I've worked at Grassroots, worked at every age group, right? Who's to say at me at 25 I couldn't produce the next Messi out of Scotland for that academy and I could make them millions of pounds? The problem is you haven't got me in there because you can't afford me, because you're willing to just pay them buttons. I can't be down money. That man is probably hating life right now that he's actually down money for the month. He loves the game.
But do you think he's buzzing getting into his work?
There's not a chance.
Because it's costing him dough to go and do. And by the way, remember, what he's doing is he's went through all his badges.
He's already paid his money. He's done his dirty work.
Tell me how much money again?
So
we spoke about £1,000
a C license is about
a C license.
C license, right? So before that, £60 for your 1.1, I think it's 80 for your 1.2, 120, 150 for your 1.3. You go into UEFA's now. UEFA C is £800 to £1,000.
£800.
A B license is £2,800. An A license is about £4 and a bit. And a pro's astronomical.
So then we go.
Sammy Eisenhower one, sorry. You can't work at a Category 1 academy, okay, with anyone over the age of 13 unless you've got an A licence.
How do we help people actually get into the game then?
Because nothing's free. Nothing's free. The SFA with the greedy little paws, mate, are taking all this money that's fed into them from everywhere else, from grassroots clubs, right?
Tell me about that then. We spoke about this earlier as well, and we spoke about grassroots level. And I think the money would go to the SYFA.
Right, yeah, I'm going to break it down as best as I can, right? Parents, please listen to this one for me, right? When you pay your monthly fees, the club will not break even, normally, right? It's £85 to register one team at one age group.
In one league.
If you have one age group, Tam, okay, let's say you've got 5 teams, all mixed levels in your one team. Okay? Your age group is 2014, you've got 5 2014 teams. You have to pay £85 5 times. If you've got an age group from 2010 down to 2020s, you might have 50 different teams. You have to pay £85 50 times. That's just one club. That's for registering, right?
But am I right in saying that that's got to happen for every league that you play in?
Every league. If you play in if you dual league, mate, you're £170 just for that one team in that one age group. We do that.
Yeah.
Right? That's just a registration fee. That goes straight to the SFA. So
SYFA, SFA.
I have no idea.
Well, this is the thing.
No one's going to find out. No one's going to come in. No one's going to come out of Hampden and tell us that, right? I'm on one. Okay. Then you have to pay your league fees. I've got no problem with this. You have to pay the hub because they need to pay for pitch hire. Not a problem. When you go to 9-a-side, you start paying for referees, which is about £20 each team. Okay. No problem. That's what we have to do. Okay. Where's that money that we've just fed to the SFA gone? Why isn't that getting paid back and said anyone can get a 1.2 for free? Which means we've actually empowered coaches to get qualified and be registered for free. No. We don't want to do that. We want you to pay the actual extra £60 to get a 1.1. I've just told you there's 80 people on that online course. Tam, where's that money going? Because a Zoom membership's £15 a month. You're on Zoom.
Aye.
So the SFA are paying a one-off fee for Zoom. And everyone just sits there, drinks, I got us a few biscuits and have a cup of tea and they get talked at. I'm on one today, by the way, because that's annoyed me.
And it's not the tutor's fault either for the SFA because they're all preset. And
it's nothing to do with the tutors. I'm not coming after the tutors. I'm coming after the governing body of our country. Because I think they can do more, Tam.
So tell me this, right? Why would a family want to put their child into an academy? Tell me why they
with that scenario now.
That scenario, when there's, we've spoke about this in previous episodes. Grassroots clubs have, well, generally they've got to be legal, like according to the SYFA and SFA. 1.2 versus an academy coach at 1.1.
Okay, that academy that put that post up. I've got more experience, and you've got more experience in coaching and badges than what any of them will have at pre-academy. So, if I've got a team of 8-year-old boys and girls who are playing under 8s or under 9s, I'm going to make them technically better than what they are. Not just me. Not just me. There's a company that work on the same pitches at the same location will do the exact same. There's coaches that are in Lanarkshire. There's coaches that are in Dunbarton.
Coaches in Glasgow. Generally.
Everywhere. And they're better qualified to give technical coaching than what this one academy that we're using as an example, because they publicly posted a job vacancy on their official programme. All I done was share it. I'm raising awareness.
And it was us that spoke about it prior to them actually posting their advert 3-4 weeks ago, whatever it was. And I must say, we are not claiming to be the best coaches in the planet. Mate, we never will be. There are better coaches probably in Glasgow and surrounding areas than us.
100%. This isn't...
But what we're highlighting here is our own circumstances,
Sam,
what we see.
I'm not here to sell us as coaches.
No.
I'm not. Really, this wasn't built for us to sell a product. We're doing all right. We're fine. Okay? I'm saying that there's better coaches at Grassroots right now. Right now.
So why are clubs not bringing in... We spoke about the model before at Chelsea. Why are the likes of Category 1, Category 2, whatever category, just academies generally, why are they not bringing in private coaches and paying them?
I don't know. Someone's going to have to tell me that. There must be a reason. Did they not like you having your own academy? Is that the reason, maybe?
But if it's good enough for Chelsea...
Mate, if it's good enough for Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United and Man City, I think Scotland need to catch up now. Do it now. Mate, I'm telling you, I've seen what private coaches are doing in Glasgow and they're phenomenal. They are phenomenal.
We spoke about it. It helps the private coaches company because they've got profile linked to an academy. It helps the academy themselves develop their own coaches if people are doing coach education in at their club.
You're helping the club because, see, come the end of the day, if you get that one gem at that age group that came through because of the link with the private academy, you'll be forever grateful.
We also spoke about, in that circumstance, it is just luck whether you make it or not.
Elaborate what you mean, though, by that. Because people are going to think what you're talking about. Elaborate what you mean a little bit for that. How's it look? How's it look that you become a professional?
So if your parents don't have any football background at all, and your son or daughter is playing in a grassroots club and they are approached by a scout to say, would you come to this academy?
Yep.
I think you are performing well and we think we can develop you more as a player. right away, because it's this academy badge, parents will go, oh, that must be better.
But it's not, eh?
Sometimes
All the
it might
time.
be, sometimes it might not be. In certain circumstances, just be looking at qualifications. It's not right. However, if you're put into that environment without any other knowledge, it's just going to be natural ability, private hard work. Let's go, oh, we need to send them to a private coach as well as their academy coach.
Right. Here's an example. I'm going to back this up as an example, right? There was a boy, and I can name it because the academy's folded. There's a boy at Queen's Park, right, who was deemed not good enough at that point. 10 years old. A young 10-year-old, by the way. Okay? In fact, he was 9. And he was deemed not good enough. He came to us, and I'm going to use us as an example because it happened. It's evidence. 8 months later, he's just signed pro youth, starts every week, and was wanted by Celtic as well. But his dad went with the loyalty through who scouted him, and now he's signed, starting every week, right? That's one example. There'll be teams all around the Western region, because we're going to talk about them in the Central Belt for location, who do this all the time with a bounce back club. Because we're the ones that put the hard yards in to get them ready physically, psychologically, okay, and technically good enough to step in there. That's us as grassroots coach. That's what we are. I'm a private coach, but I work in the grassroots game still. That's us that do that. So let's start giving the grassroots coaches a bit of credit.
But also on top of that, what you're saying is he comes to an academy, we'll make him a better football player.
Which is not true. All the time.
He may well be playing with stronger players.
And he'll get better games programs, eh? Cat 1s. Cat 1s, if you're playing at Category 1, you're playing the best in your country every week because there's a games program. Once they sign pro youth, they form part of the CAS program, so they'll all play each other. So they are playing the best. Okay? But this goes back to my other point about stepping into that academy where it's a volunteer coach on a 1.1 Tam. A scout has went out there, right, and deemed your boy or girl the elite of their age group. That's why you're in the academy. You've been identified for whatever that is, right?
Yes.
You have went in there, okay? And then your parents going to stood there thinking, mate, I'm getting better at grassroots here.
Well, we have evidence that that was the case. We've actually got a current player, maybe 2 players actually,
who turned down Category 1s to stay with us.
Unreal, because they know the game.
We had a boy offered pro youth, Tam. A boy offered pro youth, turned the contract down, came to us, worked for 6 months, came player of the year for us, and signed Cat 1, playing the year up. It's not just ballers. It's all these grassroots clubs, and
you can rhyme them off.
There's loads. I don't need to rhyme them off. I don't need to, because it's not fair leaving others out. Because there's too many to name.
Yep.
The coaching's fantastic at grassroots at these really well-established clubs. And I don't think we're getting the credit. Because if I was in the academy and I'm head of academy somewhere, at the big boys, the big ones with decent budget.
Right, so we speak about budget, right?
Handpick your best coaches.
It must be due to finance that there's issues, right? Because obviously the guy that get in touch, he's down money. He's not getting enough money. Why? See if these academies are linked to the clubs. That's an issue in itself that we could maybe talk about. But most of the academies are linked to clubs, finance through clubs, etc., sponsorship, etc., etc. SFA as well.
Yeah, they
obviously
fund it.
Contribute. Do you think, now this is going to be controversial, I really think this is going to be controversial, people are going to actually go off their head at me here. Do you think that families should pay for their player in an academy?
It's happening already. There's 2 academies in Scotland that you have to pay for. There's 2 at Category 2 you have to pay fees for. You pay boys club fees.
So it's basically a boys club with a club badge.
Well, that's exactly what it is. What's different? The opposition you play. Because I'll tell you something, mate. We're taking our boys clubs down south.
Would you be happy with that? Oh, sorry, carry on then. Just elaborate on that there about the games programme.
I've had 2 age groups. 2014s, 2016s, right? They've played at Liverpool, Manchester United, Sunderland numerous times, Sheffield United, Burnley. Okay, I missed someone and I can't remember what it is. Apologies. Been down south, right? Played all these mad teams. I think I played the two best academies in Europe, in Liverpool, Man United. Other teams have as well. But you're not telling me a category 2, right, isn't always going down there to play them two. I played them on the same weekend, mate.
So how did you manage to? I don't want to give away your secrets, but why are these clubs not getting the fixtures? Put it that way.
There's no link, is there? I don't think anyone's in that communication bracket with them all. By the way, the big boys are. Because if you look at the games programmes from the elite clubs, they are getting them.
They play best v best,
Brilliant.
don't they?
Best v best should be a league. Best v best should be a league.
So we speak about this, right? And we talk about the issues surrounding academies and grassroots and things like that. If we go on to produce even more footballers, if we get it right, it's all hypothetical, obviously. If we produce enough of these football players, technical football players, do you think we've got the grounding in Scotland to develop them further?
At like teenage years and above.
I spoke about in the last episode as well, at the age 16, the people being discarded to the game, I think is a loss to the game, because if it's just a numbers game, if they were allowed to play full-time football in whatever capacity, then you would have more numbers naturally making it as professional football players.
I agree. And I think, and this is controversial, by the way, I think you've got more chance of having a career in the Scottish game if you're not at Celtic or Rangers. Because you're going to get...
I think that's quite evident though, isn't it?
It is evident.
It's evidence-based because there's no pathway at these clubs, really, unless you are
So why are you there then?
very lucky.
Why are we there then?
Probably go south.
I get that.
Probably to say...
Mate,
like,
I work with Rangers Celtic boys every summer. Every summer without fail.
because the old firm, those that are in academies just now playing best v best, you're being identified as well by these clubs down south when you're playing this best v best programme.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So they'll be casting their eye, and these clubs will go, we can take him for 60 grand or 50 grand and take a punt on him or whatever it is.
Mate, look at that young Evan Mooney who's at St Mirren. I think he's a cracker. I haven't seen many number 9s like that. I really like him. I really rate the boy, man. And I think that Steve Romps is doing really well, just tickling him in, just trickling him in now and again.
Yeah.
Because, Tam, people probably don't realise this as well. See, in Scotland, see if you want to break into a first team in England, and I mean break in, you'll need about 50 first team appearances in Scotland before that'll happen. Josh Edwards came to me in the summer, not this summer, one before. He signed for Charlton from Dunfermline. He starts every week.
Brilliant.
In the Championship in England. So that's evidence that Scottish players are rated, by the way. I told you, mate, the boy I worked with, young Smudger, linked with everyone. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Arsenal. Mate, you're in dreamland. The boy's from Houston. You're in dreamland. What do you mean Real Madrid is in the Real Madrid? Yeah, I mean that Real Madrid. But
it's crazy that we've got these technical players at this age, but we don't have a platform for them to go and ply their trade.
Because you won't play at Rangers, mate.
So then how then does that then get fixed? How do we fix that? Because I think there's a real chance if we were to put full-time football on as a professional thing during the week.
Reserve leagues.
Got to be. It's got to be. I know everything that we are speaking about, we're going back 30, 40 years, right?
And I don't want people to think we're fossils, by the way.
No, far from it.
Because it works, the competitive nature.
But we've got facilities at training grounds and things like that. I'm sure there could be, and I know there's games programmes that go on. Right?
Kick off at 8 o'clock at night, mate.
Whatever it needs to be. But I think having more in the game, that means more will make it. Just with a numbers game. Having more of an exposure in a more technical environment against professionals, and does the Lowland League, does the Junior League, does all of that play a part?
Yeah, can you mix it a little bit?
Can we do something? and I know it's everybody's got their committees and all that sort of stuff, but I think it just needs that sort of fine refinement of thinking to say, look, we need this platform for our technical players to go and have a place to play so that they can actually go and show, do you know what, I can actually play against men. I can do this.
Sam, do you not think, see the youth in the United Kingdom, right?
The B team was a thing, wasn't it? The B team's that sort of environment.
Well, Rangers were involved in that as well. They were a good example. Celtic's still in the UEFA Youth League. Rangers were involved, and we pulled them out of the Lowland League as well. So they've lost that men's football again. Them young boys that I'm playing
I wonder
Lowland
what
League.
the thinking was there.
That is mental.
I wonder what the thinking
There'll be a
was.
reason.
Because of the standard, or
God knows.
But they weren't exactly pulling trees up, were they?
No.
So it's mental to think that.
Well, that KDM Evolution Trophy, Rangers are playing in that, but it's 16 and 17-year-old boys.
Mm-hmm.
And I love, by the way, they're getting loads of experience. But if you have a look at that table now, it ain't very appealing. It's see. I was sorry before I was saying about the United Kingdom. Seeing the United Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
In general, I don't think it's encouraged to say that you're good at anything. So, like, if like you've got a talent in football more than anything, I think it's like almost taboo to say you're good at something. Where see in America, I'd argue that they're not very humble at times if they've got a talent, but they're happy to say, no, I'm good at this. I think self-belief gets taken out of you because you're not allowed to say you're good at something.
Yeah.
Honestly, and see if you say it, he's arrogant, him, mate. It's like saying when I made that comment, didn't I, about a technical coach. Mm-hmm. I think I'm very good technically to deliver a message accurately to a child and make them become better. I think I'm very good at that. But that's not arrogance, mate. It's this mad confidence because of years of experience. But that would be frowned upon if someone listened to that and cut out the bit I just explained to say he's arrogant, him. Mm-hmm. I'm not arrogant. I just believe in myself.
Yeah.
And I know I could go.
You're not allowed to do that.
Tom, I reckon I could go in an academy and make them better.
I don't doubt it.
Pre-academy.
I don't doubt it.
So, mate, see, and by the way, see if Rangers, Celtic, Hearts, all these massive, see if they come knocking and say, mate, I want you to come in there and be our technical coach. I would rip your hand off. This isn't me trying to get a job, mate. I'm too busy for the job. But I'm just saying.
You couldn't afford the pay cut.
No, you're right. Voluntary basis. £6 an hour.
So there's a few things that the comparison of other countries regarding that link about football and time on the pitch and all that sort of stuff, and a platform for them to develop. Mm-hmm. Youth minutes in senior football is a big factor regarding comparable nations like Denmark and Croatia give double or more under 20 minutes per team compared to Scotland. Double.
That's wild.
Exposure. Even the top 5 European leagues, England, Spain, Germany, France and Italy, manage higher under 21 minutes despite greater pressure for results.
No way. So England do more minutes than what Scotland do on average?
Under 21, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
That's true, that's fact. The market value of young players are drastically reduced. Scotland's young players have significantly lower market value than similar sized nations.
Right, I'm going to jump on that because I think that's a little bit disrespectful to Scotland.
But I think it's people. We've not got the governance right, and I mean I'm not going for anybody here, but we've not got the platform for them to go and play. The league's too small, but we've got a country in Croatia, 3 million people with a population. So we've not got this platform, but for the youngsters, for 16-year-old moving forward, we've not got this breeding ground. Mm-hmm. We've got this grassroots and academy and all that sort of stuff. And everything seems all right, even though...
No, it's good until it gets to an age.
But there's obviously things that need to be fixed in all of that as well. But then we've got this barrier. There's a barrier, definitely.
But Tam, does it always come back? I always think, see, everyone asks, right?
If you're good enough, you'll make it.
Why?
If you're good enough, you'll make it.
Yeah, if you're good enough, you'll be picked off. That's not always the truth, mate.
That's not true.
Because now they're looking for athleticism.
That brings me
Sam, they're looking for athleticism. Okay? There's boys getting turned away because they're not athletic enough. Girls getting turned away because they're not athletic. I will take technical over anything.
So... Arsene Wenger spoke about this numerous times.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to jump on you because I need to, because my memory's so bad, right?
Go on.
See, in this day and age, Paul Gascoigne probably doesn't make professional. Tammy's not athletic.
I know, but come on.
No, I'm being serious.
Talk away.
No, right, there's so many more examples than him. Okay? But he's not mad. Like, he doesn't...
Neville Southall. Come on.
Mate, I'm telling you.
So Arsene Wenger spoke about this matchuality thing, and he spoke about it numerous times. There's various quotes here, right? So I've logged it just so that we know. The physically strong, dominant at 13 or 14. Later, when everyone catches up, the technically superior survive. Great quote. Physically, early maturing boys can dominate at young ages, but at 18 or 20, this is this breeding ground I'm talking about we don't have, the later developers often overtake them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's talking about late developers at 16, 17. So,
do you know who's probably the best example of that actually being true, Tam, is Spain?
Yeah.
Because if you look across their team, and you could probably go 30 years back here, apart from your centre-backs and your goalkeeper, they never really had monsters.
No.
If you look at your Xavis, Iniestas, Raul was the same height as me. What a player he was.
Busquets was a bit of a freak.
He was a
tall
freak.
boy.
Freak.
What a player.
Unreal. But mate, even Carlos Puyol was 5'11" and he was a centre-back.
Just to finish this, stop judging kids during puberty because physical growth is not talent, technique lasts, size doesn't. And you cannot say who is a good player at 14. At 16, they can be completely different. Some develop early, some develop late. At a young age, you should not select by physical strength. You are not choosing the best players, only the earliest developers.
Here's a question for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, when I'm not saying I do this or anyone I've worked for does this, right? They don't. But do you think when you scout a player at the age of 11, you're picking him from where he could be when he's 16? Could he step into the first team? Or do you pick him at 11 because he shows potential now? What do you think happens?
The academy wants the strongest current team.
That's not true. Not every academy is like that. It's not.
That's the perception I get.
That's not true. Not every one of them. Not every one of them. The bigger ones are looking for that technical boy. The big ones are looking for that technical player. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that. But the lower end, lower budget teams, you know for a fact, we've played these teams, right? They're not looking for those that are technical. They're looking for monsters.
Well, why are teams... We've got a good relationship with Willie. I'll not name his team now because it'd be disrespectful for everybody else. And we got them in games programme earlier on. Why are our age group 2014s beating Academy 2014 teams?
Because we're more technical. We're more technical and the coach correctly in terms of game play. The coach how to play a game of football. I don't think every academy is coaching players how to play a game of football. I'd love to see, Sam, I want to see a session. I want to see what a session looks like at a Category 2 academy. If that one with a volunteer coach, I want to see what their session looks like compared to mine.
Well,
I'd love to see it.
Just regarding that, right? Just regarding that. Sorry about the noise there. When you rely on results at youth level, you stop developing players. You select the strongest, not the best. That's true. That's, again, Arsene Wenger, FIFA Technical Study Group. That's
there is academies doing it, Sam. I'm not saying there's not. All I'm saying is that it's not true as a overlook of the academy.
An overview.
It's really not. But I get what you're saying. There'll be some that just want to think, well, I've just beat such and such's academy today, so fantastic. No one's bothered me.
I know.
Because you're not playing for points. I want to develop them. Here's a statement for you, right? Out of all the Category 2 academies, okay, in Scotland,
yes,
I believe there's boys' clubs in Glasgow, including us, that will give them longevity better than what that academy will. In fact, I'll put money on it.
Wow.
Because the coaching won't always be better than what I'm given, you're given, Glasgow teams are given. I promise you. So grassroots, this is what I keep going back to grassroots teams. You're not giving them credit. You're not.
But what credit you want?
I want them to say, do you know what? You've done well producing this football player. If it wasn't for you, he wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't. And most parents, right, when you're at a good club, have shown so much respect towards those coaches. Not just for giving up the spare time, but for helping the child become a better human being, not just a football player. I don't think that's always happening at Category 2 academies. I can't talk about Cat 1 all the time.
The players are disregarded quite consistently.
You get rid of them. And then if you've got a coach in there who's on voluntary basis on a 1.1, there's not going to be an audit that ever happens, but what are all these badges looking like at Cat 2 at 2014s?
And others.
Mate, you've got...
2030,
here's what I'm against, right?
Yep.
See, if you're a dad in the academy and you're coaching your son in that age group, bang against it. Because there's got to be a conflict of interest at times. Okay? I've got no problem if the dad's coaching in the academy and his son's not in that age group. I'm absolutely fine with that because he's obviously a decent coach as well. But I think if your boy's in that academy...
Still doesn't sit right with me either. That
What, they shouldn't be in there anyway?
Well, I know.
Do you think he might have more of a voice?
But there's a difference there because it might be deserved in both counts, but sometimes...
Well, who brought him in?
It might not be deserved.
Who's brought the boy in? Was the boy brought in before the dad was a coach? Because that's fine. Mm-hmm. Or was he brought in when the dad became a coach? That's not fine.
Yeah.
That's naughty, by the way.
Look, I think we could keep going and going and going. However, I think that's enough for today, and we'll try and structure something else around the same subjects, but maybe different talking points for the next one.
I think a good one into the governing body next time. Just have a little look into the workings of
what happens,
and
so. Thank you for listening, everybody. Hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again shortly.
Episode 6. Let's
Cheers.
go.